I'm going to ask this question once again. I think the government cannot run away from this question. And I think South Africans need to demand answers regarding these questions. This question: Somalis, what are they doing in South Africa? The last time I checked, South Africans, according to the Constitution, must be consulted. Which South African was consulted about Somalis coming to South Africa? Ethiopians coming to South Africa, Pakistanis coming to South Africa, Bangladeshis coming to South Africa. Who consulted us about them? And why is it that these Somalis suddenly feel they are more South African than South Africans? So much so that they are making demands. How are you making demands in a country that isn't yours? I want to know how. Are you making demands in a country that is not yours? And secondly, we are told that you are here as asylum seekers. Kanti asylum, is it permanent? Is it permanent? Because if it's permanent, then it makes a whole lot of sense, excuse me about that, that it makes a whole lot of sense why they feel entitled to South Africa. I think South African government needs to take us into its confidence and explain to us, who are these people, what are they here for, and when are they leaving? We don't want them anymore in our country. We were never consulted about them. But anyways, let's put that's a very fundamental question that every South African must demand from our government, to explain to us about the Somalis. We cannot be intimidated in our own country by people we don't even know what are they doing here. And what's giving them that power and entitlement to say, we are not going anywhere. And I saw somewhere where Somali said they are protected by the government. Protected by the government under what circumstances? What law that says we are protecting Somalis? Why South Africans were never consulted about that law? I think the government needs to answer that question. But importantly, when are they leaving? Now, I was watching, I just came across this news channel. I think it's a Nigerian news channel. And they're talking about how they're going to sanction, or they're planning to sanction, Nigeria planning to sanction South Africa. And it's quite funny, by the way, if you listen to the whole thing. But I'm going to play you little snippets of this particular interview between I guess it's a news anchor and some quack lawyer in Nigeria. So this is what he says. This is the opening of this particular interview. Listen to this.
Diplomatic relations and business interest, as well as international law within the African continent. And well, that's because the Nigerian government is considering retaliatory measures against South African businesses operating in Nigeria. And that's following renewed xenophobic attacks against Nigerians and indeed, other African nationals that are living in South Africa. There's been reported violence, looting, and the alleged harassment of Nigerians living in South Africa. And so the federal government has already commenced the evacuation, if you like, of affected Nigerians willing to return, and has expressed strong dissatisfaction over what the government describes as the continued victimization of Nigerians, despite Nigeria's historic role and substantial contributions to South Africa's anti-apartheid struggle.
Well, as you heard, I'm still laughing. I can't stop laughing. Because the thing is, in my head, I'm thinking, do they know South Africans? Do they actually know South Africans? And secondly, You are threatening us with MTN and DSTV. That stuff don't belong to us. And even if you do kick out MTN and DSTV out of Nigeria, it's not going to affect us at all. I'm talking us, and we are not going to be affected. We are not shareholders of MTN and DSTV. Shareholders of these two entities are actually found in Nigeria. Oh, yeah, they're found in Nigeria. So that means when you kick out MTN and DSTV, the Nigerian shareholders in Nigeria are the ones that are going to be negatively affected. Not only the shareholders, but thousands upon thousands of Nigerians that work for these two entities are going to be left with no job. Thirdly, we get at least 0.001% profit as South Africa from these two entities versus 20% into the Nigerian economy. Do you see that you are insignificant Nigerians when it comes to South Africa? You are like this tiny. That's what makes it so funny. And I want you to pay attention to the response of the lawyer. And I'm talking the opening sentence of the lawyer. And I will tell you what's missing in that opening sentence. Here we go.
Can Nigeria legally impose retaliatory measures against South African businesses operating within the Nigerian territory in response to xenophobic attacks on Nigerians living in South Africa?
Okay, I think first and foremost, we'll need to start off from the background of realizing or, understanding that there are various treatises, agreements, documents under which the Nigerian state has had several understandings and agreements with the South African
Okay,
state.
I'm going to stop it right here. Listen, as a lawyer, and you are talking about another country, your opening statement should always acknowledge that other country's sovereignty. South Africa is a sovereignty with the rule of law, and it has policies, it has rules and all of that stuff that it runs the country with and can deem whatever they want to be legal or illegal, etc., and so on. And then they also have consequences of what happens if somebody violates those laws. A whole lawyer does not make that acknowledgement. But then again, this is Nigerians, by the way. Nigeria and law and order, water and oil. And I've come to notice that it didn't matter what kind of a Nigerian it is. Well, I just want to make a disclaimer. Not all Nigerians are like this. I mean, we've come across really, really good Nigerians that are honest, truthful, and they spread the truth. I'm not talking about them. I'm not talking about them. And one thing I like about them, God is blessing them. The truthful Nigerians, the honest ones. God sees them and God is blessing them. And if God has not started blessing them, I want to assure you right now, a Nigerian that is honest and that spreads the truth, irrespective of what truth you are spreading, you will reap the effects of telling and spreading the truth. Blessings that are coming to you are abundant. So be a little bit patient on that one. But the rest, evil to the core. To even have a discussion of this nature demonstrates the evilness that resides in these people's dark hearts. That when a country that happens to be a sovereign that can deem and put together laws that they want, they oppose them. Where do you even get that entitlement from? And this whole thing we helped you during days of apartheid does not give you the right to come into our sovereignty and tell us what to do. It doesn't. And by the way, you did nothing for us. And you know it because we keep asking for proof. You need to produce the receipts. Where are the receipts? And then again, I remembered that about 100 million Nigerians are mentally ill. So they are delusional. They see things that don't exist and they pass them as if that's the gospel truth. We already know that. So that is why we no longer care about whatever claims that you want to make. I even saw the ambassador of Nigeria to South Africa saying, we used to even get arrested. My generation used to protest. How were you protesting, ma'am, when you were dodging bullets from coup d'etats? That can be proven, by the way. That can be proven. And on top of that, she says something like, we also got arrested for protesting. By whom? Who was the one that was arresting you again when you were busy dodging bullets from coup d'etats in Nigeria? Again, this is attributed to the 100 million Nigerians that are not well mentally. I mean, even if you look at her yourself, you have to ask yourself some questions. Are you okay? Is she all right? Yeah, anyways. So it makes sense why they would make claims of this nature. Because they're not well. Fellow South Africans, be nice to some of these guys. Yes, we want them gone. Because people that are not stable, they are dangerous. They are significantly dangerous to us. But here's the thing. If you listen to the entire interview, I don't know if I'm going to leave the link. I don't think you should even bother because it's a typical Nigerian discussion. And you know a typical Nigerian discussion, not even a shred of truth you are going to hear. Instead, you are going to be hearing pompousness and how important Nigerians are. In the very same interview, they talk about xenophobic attacks towards Nigerians. Nigerian businesses are being looted. Nigerians are being attacked. Nigerians are getting killed. When you ask for the proof, instead we are having Nigerians that are saying we are not going anywhere. You ran away from your country. That was not touching you at all, physically. You ran away. And then you come to South Africa that is physically harming you and you saying you're not going anywhere. Make that make sense. Somebody please make that make sense. Because where you're supposed to be actually running away from is where you are physically being harmed. They're saying, no, I'm not going anywhere. What about my children? Excuse me, sir. What sort of a man are you to even go as far as saying that? You are a man. And as a man, you need to take the position of protecting your children by rounding them up, buy airplane tickets, and take them back home with your wife. But no, I want to stay in South Africa because I have children. What sort of a man are you? Man. Oh. Yeah, let's say for the sake of the conversation, what sort of a man are you? You're not a man. You're a coward. And on top of that, you're a liar, that you are being attacked. You are a liar that your business is getting looted. What business is this, by the way? What business is this? Did it follow the South African immigration laws? Is that the business? Oh, you're talking about the white powder business that we're seeing is Octola. Is that the business you're talking about? Illegal liquor stores? Brothels? Is that the business you're talking about? Come on, guys. So I'm just going to, I'm not going to play this entire interview, but the one thing you will pick up as well from this discussion is the frustration that Nigerians have about our government. They think that South African government runs like Nigerian government or Ghanaian government or any other government on the continent. Even Zimbabwe is showing to be a typical African country. Nowhere near to how we are running South Africa. They are frustrated that the people are governing in South Africa. So they think the government being a legal or an authority, it should be the one that sends down instructions. They don't know or they don't understand that it's the other way around, that the people shall govern. That means the approach is bottom up. The government at the top listens to what the people want. And one thing about South Africans, what we want, we get. And Africans don't seem to understand that. They get frustrated. Even in the interview, the lawyer asked why the government is not using its authority to arrest Jacinta Ngobese Zuma. And that lawyer, he has something for Jacinta Ngobese Zuma because she's a woman, number one. And you know how women are treated in West Africa, especially when a woman seems to take leadership. She should be shut down. So he doesn't understand why the government is allowing her. Why? It's hilarious. That interview is funny. You would laugh. If you look at my eyes, they are red because of laughing. They don't understand how we run this country. Cyril Ramaphosa can't do nothing. Absolutely nothing without us instructing him. Cyril Ramaphosa can't just nilly-willy, throw in the army at us. He first has to go to parliament. There are laws that needs to be first looked at, debated, voted on, and then he can do it. But in Nigeria, like End SARS in 2020, young people went out to protest about End SARS. Live ammunition was opened on them, killing a lot of young people because the authority in Nigeria is the government, not the people. Doesn't work like that with us. And they don't understand that. It frustrates them so much that the people hold so much power in South Africa. Or we do hold the power in South Africa as the people. The sooner y'all realize and accept that, the better for your chest pains. So the interview also touches, it doesn't touch on law and order, by the way. And the law and order part, it must only be implemented on South Africans, not the Nigerians that are selling white powder. No acknowledgement of the wrongdoings of some Nigerians in South Africa. No, because the Nigerians are innocent. They are conducting business in South Africa. Yeah, the business that's killing the future of this country are children. That's how insignificant they are to them. I ask again, what are Nigerians doing in South Africa? Because there is no war in Nigeria. Just like there's no war in Somalia, in Ethiopia, in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, and everywhere else. Why must we carry this burden? Everybody now seems to have a claim to South Africa's liberation. Y'all did nothing. Until you can show me a body from your country that was shot down by the apartheid government, then I'll say, okay, show us. Show us. Solidarity is not help. That's standing with. It's not helping. And then the lawyer even goes as far as says, we have the audacity to, what does he say? He puts a Nigerian as a superior being to a South African because they helped us during the days of apartheid. Like, how dare a South African would speak to a Nigerian like that? I'm like, all right now. Snap, 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 girly. That interview is hilarious. Full of delusion, again, 100 million of them. And unfortunately, many of them are here in South Africa too. And this is what we must deal with. And our government does not see the danger that we are facing. I was watching a video about how if we are not careful, because we are already invaded, we invaded by Somalis. The Somalis are running a rampage already. They are outright, and we are not hearing anything being done about that. Nothing is being done about that. We are being invaded tomorrow. These people are going to overpower us. There will be no such a thing called a South African in the near future. There will be no such a thing called a South African in the near future if we are not going to fight now. Once again, I must emphasize, whatever we do, let's do them within the bounds of the law. Those that go outside the bounds of the law, please, siyangicela ningazoza kuthina nithi nisifuna imali yama-lawyer. We're not going to pay. We are not. Because we did not send you to unalive people, to beat people up, when you have the choice of using the same authority. Yes, they suck. I saw a police officer telling a group of Somalis that no South African must come to you and ask for documents. Okay, fine. And I think as a South African, wherever that police officer is and he's stationed, make him busy. Make him busy, but keep taking him to where illegal foreigners are at, and he must make arrests. Isn't he said it's for his day job? Then take him. He must not know no rest until all illegal foreigners where he's stationed are gone. Every one of them gone. So that is what we are calling for. We do not loot. Looting is stupid, guys. Looting is stupid. It shows what sort of a person you are. It means you are stupid. If when you're seeing somebody else's stuff and then you think it's for taking, you were not brought up like that. If I do not come to us, we are not interested. We are not going to donate a cent to you. We did not send you. Let's do as they said we should. But one thing is for sure, asisaba funi in our communities. That part, they cannot force us to integrate with people we no longer want in our communities. And that's not violence. Asisaba funi. Do not rent out your places to them no more. Evict them. Ukuthi baya kuphi? Hayi. So anyways, I thought let me come and laugh along with you because this interview was hilarious. Anyways, guys, I will see you next time with a new one. Please enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Goodbye.